Welcome to another video. I'll show you how I got to here and all the works I've been up to over the last month. Enjoy. Alright, here I am above the kitchen, currently in the third bedroom. Those joists are looking to support the ends of them and then remove the entire ceiling structure, preparing to run the joists sideways. At this point I was undecided as to whether to pocket them in or to sit them on a wall plate. So here I am, just taking out the acro props where the single skin wall was, and then looking to remove those ceilings, the ceiling structure. So the very end is completely unsupported here, so removing the plasterboard, the lath and plaster, so I can get my acro props in this end, as this is going to be holding weight when I'm working above on the ends of these joists, which will be staying, is me just thinking about what I'm doing. Yeah, getting the acro props in. It's important to get them plumb, and also I like to screw the acro props when you have that availability to you. They often have holes in each end, so you can screw on so it's not moving about whilst you're trying to tighten it up, and then just chopping down the ceiling above me. Can be quite dangerous to do this, just take it slow, do it in sections. A little bit dusty, just been tidying up and trying to clear up this floor section. So as you can see here, it's on the bubble, it's level, but that end joist there and that one over there are a bit high. One more replacement needs to go in at the end. There's been a bit of rot down here, but all this is getting taken out, including this. Fall hazard, death hazard, getting taken out, and I'm replacing it with, from this point onwards, the back of the house will be 18mm hardwood structural ply. But I'm just going to fix on a wall plate that side, so chemical fix it on. And also this side, but I need to clear up the brickwork a little bit. And then once those bits at the end are filled in, I'm going to fix a wall plate to the end and just have some noggins going to that for the final piece of the flooring, but I'm going to leave it exposed just to run the supplies for the electrical cables and whatnot. Here's me measuring out the wall plate so I can get this chemical fixed to the wall, and I can run timbers off of it, the new timber joists, and replace those ones that were stretched the lengthway down the building. So it's just a case of trying to set these level with the existing floor. So you run it off the existing joist with a level, check it's level, and then I'm getting in a couple of temporary fixings. I've got the laser set up. I'm just trying to find my datums. As you can see, the middle of the floor dips down here on these three, and then this flooring at the end picks up. Example. See, it picks up on the end where it's all been rotted out, and it was fixed into a joist, I guess, pulling it down in some way. And this one's twisted horrifically, so probably will just replace this, as it does have a bit of rot. I'll give it a whack with a hammer. And there's, yeah, telltale old woodworm. But these three in the middle seem to drop and aren't consistent with the hallway. So I'm going to have to take this one, and this one, and either jack them up, I'll try it with another acro prop in the middle because it's on the scaffolding boards. Well, it's not holding really any weight. It's worth a try. Okay, so that worked. Getting it middle of the bubble. It's not quite touching on this middle one, and it's not quite touching on here, but it's a lot better considering this one's twisted. But when I take it to here, it's middle of the bubble. So I'm going to take up this twisted one anyway because it's got the rot in it, as I said. And then it's only that very end one. But I think there's some plaster lath and plaster, almost like propping it up at the end, because it does run uphill slightly. I'll just show you. So there you can see it runs uphill slightly. There's a couple of floorboards which are slightly higher than others, which is what the stud work sat on. Just about see these next ones are long, slightly proud, but it's all being replaced anyway. Sheets of timber. Just need to work out a way of removing these, which I will do when the floor's in. So here my methodology was going from the top of the pockets. So I ran the laser around the room, you can see, but then I swapped to the bottom. Just made it easier to line up the pockets and I could pack out the rest. So current plan is to pocket out these sections here for the joists, double up that first timber and timber lock it together. And instead of doing chemical fix this end and using up another bit of timber and loads of chemical fix, I'm just going to go along. I've got some tools here that are going to help. These are the tools that I'm going to be using to cut out the sections in the brickwork. Got angle grinder with a masonry bit on it, an SDS chisel, different size one, and then a slightly pointier one. And then I'm going to be using this mainly, this masonry bit for my recip saw, and just do accurate cuts downwards. Should make my life a lot easier. Once I decided I was going to pocket out for the joists, I take down the old timber plate, and then it's just a case of getting my levels right, setting up the laser to the right height for the bottom of the joist, so when I cut those pockets it's going to be sitting directly on the brickwork or close enough where I can pack it up with slate. I managed to pocket in this side really well with the recip saw and the carbide masonry blade. This side is an old chimney breast, so the brickwork used to come out and the bricks have just been thrown back in, so it came out quite easily. But I have a bricklayer who looks just like my brother coming round on Sunday to repair this. So for now I'm going to fix it to the end of the timbers on this side, and then he can come round, build this up, pack it out with some slate or something and get this level just about right, because it's so accurate with the masonry blade. You can see it on the bottom there, it just needs a little bit of slate and it's ready to go.
I thought I had it figured out, believed in us, we were meant to be, no doubt. A teenage love, everybody else could see the way we were, living in a fantasy. But when I kiss her, I don't know where we're going, I don't know at all. I don't know how we're growing, I'll be moving on, I'll be moving on, gotta let it go, living on my own.
So I'm just going along, adding some noggins to the floor. It's 8x2s all the way till you get to the end here, and then it's a double 8x2. It's going to be on joist hangers. I'm going to replace that timber, even though it only runs like 1.5 meters, just because it's got a bit of rot, and then add another one on the end. So it'll be 2 timbers going on there. So there's plenty of fixing points for plasterboard, as well as a bit more structural, because it's going to be a bathtub somewhere around here. So quite a bit of weight. All the bricks pocketed out. There's already pockets in place in certain places, so I need to get this repaired ASAP. It's not holding any weight. It's a tiny roof on there, and it's really strong on the outside, rendered. But yeah, just going across, as you can see, a bit of a camber in the timber, but 3 rows of noggins all the way down. So I'm currently working off this sheet of ply, so I'm able to get across, and then all the joist hangers aren't in, as I mentioned. Replacing that one, adding another one on, and then there'll be a row of noggins all the way down there, just to get the spacings just right for plugging it in the next couple of days. And then need 3 more 8x2s going across. I've got one the right length. The other 2 I cut too short when I was originally going to do a wall plate chemical fix, but after speaking with a builder friend, they recommended just pocketing it in, just as it will be stronger and it's better. And then at the very end, on the last joist, there will just be noggins going in for plasterboard fixings and strength into the wall, just tying the structure all together. So I'm just clearing out underneath so I can get the ladder in safely. There was still some rubble where I removed a floor section. It made it quite difficult to get out. Note to self in the future, leave the floor in before you try wheelbarrow stuff through the house. It makes your life a lot easier. But yeah, just clearing out the old stuff, the old cast iron bathtub, which is in pretty bad shape, and just getting rid of the rest of that single skin wall. If I didn't do this, it's just propping up the ladder. It's a bit unsafe, it's on uneven ground, and yeah, I don't want to be falling on the concrete. So just about to slate pack and plug these up. Bricklayer down there getting ready. So I'm recording to all these. So the bottoms have all been packed out. This man here is just plugging them up. Just filling in the top because some of the bricks were really weak, so it's better to replace them. So he advises, nods his head. And then on to that side. So I've got this gun borrowed for the evening. I'm going to fire in nails into these hangers, all underneath here, just because it's a bit awkward trying to fit in there. I've got to move this scaffolding board, it's not propping anything up anymore. So I've got here a slightly different nail gun to my normal one. This one being the DCN 692, fires like the 90mm nails. I think it's like 60 to 90mm, 50. What it says on there, 50 to 90mm nails, regular 2.8 to 3.3 thickness. Whereas this one is slightly different. It fires these nails, twist nails for joist hangers. It's the DCN 694. Disappointed! After my brother came and pointed all those joists in and packed them all out, and we got the floor perfectly level, there were 2 more I needed to do, as I cut the other timbers a bit too short, just because I was doing the original idea, which was chemical fixing a wall plate, and then I'd cut the timbers to go on that wall plate. So I had to wait for 2 more timbers to arrive, and then this is just me pocketing them in. Which you can see when I offer this one up, how much shorter it is, which was left over from the other ones, and then it eventually became noggins. So the 2 new timbers were put in, they were both wrapped, even though this is the first floor. Just cover it in DPM, cover all the bases, same as I've done for the rest of them. and then I have nothing to worry about, because there is cavity wall insulation in there. If that were to get wet, then in theory, if they weren't wrapped, the ends of the joists could get wet and rot. But it takes a couple of extra minutes to do all of them, so it was worth doing. So rather than fill in these pockets, these old pockets, and try to run a timber and cut some new pockets out lengthways, I've decided to do this. Reuse the old pockets, all 8 of them down here. Got some 400mm blocks. Going to wrap the ends in this DPM, staple it, and then sit them in, fix them on. Sadly, I'm going to have to use joist or jiffy hangers. I know it's a bit overkill. I'm going to end fix them as well, but yeah, joist hangers is, I've just got loads of them. Might as well use them, and then belts and braces and whatnot. So after I put the first one in, I realised it's going to work out a lot easier to attach the joist hangers before I hang the joists, just given the tight space and being able to swing the hammer. I didn't have the PPN nailer today, so back to the old-fashioned way, swinging the hammer, hoping I don't hit my fingers, and trying to get in as many twist nails as possible over these joist hangers, which span a total of 320mm. So that's them all in. Just need a couple more nails in there. That very end one, I've just put 2 tensile structural screws and a bunch of 90mm nails in it, because I can't get a hang around it, and it's not going to be holding any weight anyway. They're kind of overkill even putting hangers on these, to be honest. So these are the tools for today for getting this ply down. So I've got a good cordless circular saw with a fresher blade. It's not quite a rip blade, which is what's in there, but you can see these teeth. They've been catching quite a lot of nails. Just ripping out. Hammer, obviously, tape, a couple of pencils for when I lose the first one, obviously. Spacked flooring screws, torch head ones, square, impact, chalk line, my track for straight cuts with that, and for some blocking that I'm doing, got some of the old timber that's actually still good from the floors downstairs. I just need to pull the nails out of it and then chop them down on the chop saw to the right size. Oh, and this PU glue. So instead of tonguing grooving this structural hardwood ply, this is the current state of it. So I want to come to here with the ply and get all the way back there. So I'm going to start from the back wall, obviously, and then work my way this way. Oh, one more tool, nail gun. So I hear people saying, oh, the nail gun's no good, no good. Right, this cost me £220 brand new. It's not to be confused with the regular 90mm nail gun. It's the Type 3, which has the motor from the concrete nail gun, the concrete fixing gun. So it's much more powerful. It's built a roof, 2 roofs, for me, a garden room, completely faultless. It's paid for itself many times over, and it's pretty much half the price of every other nailer. The Paslow, oh, they're really light. The Milwaukee, oh, they're really heavy, but they're really powerful. Double the price. Makes no sense, and it's the tool platform I'm on. That being said, I did get the 18 gauge Milwaukee second fix nail gun, but that's amazing. And that was 300 quid, same price as DeWalt, and I bought like a £20 or £12. Those numbers ring a bell. Amazon battery converter, so I can use my DeWalt batteries in it, and that's a really light gun, unlike the first fix Gen 2, which is brutally heavy. Another reason I'm using not using chipboard, if I haven't mentioned it already, is I'm using structural hardwood ply, which is 18mm. I think it's like 2 or 3 times the strength of regular chipboard, and it worked out the same price. So it's a no-brainer. Where the whole floor in the house is 18mm and not 22, I feel like that 18mm chipboard has a bit of a wobble in it. It's typically what you get in like loft boards. well, same thickness, not exactly the same composition, but still, this stuff's so much stronger. I'm just going to fix it on some blocking where the joints don't meet a noggin or a joist. I think tongue and grooving would wear out the bits a bit too quickly. Also as well, I haven't got my router with me today. Plus, this still works and it's arguably stronger because you've got more noggins in there. But yeah, I'll set you up on time lapse and you can watch me get this flooring down.
I'm cutting dice, look at these eyes, they're not here to please you. There was a time you could be mine, before all that you put me through. I knew that you were trouble, but I let that you open. I'm living in this bubble and it makes you so mad. You can say hello, but I don't need you to like me. Don't need you to like me. Don't need you to like. You can watch me go, cause I don't need you to like me. Don't need you to like me. Don't need you to like. You can say hello, but I don't need you to like me. Don't need you to like me. Don't need you to like. You can watch me go, cause I don't need you to like me. Don't need you to like me. Don't need you to like me.
So just using my jigsaw to cut this one in around the stairs. It runs out a little bit here, but it should continue with this plank here. And then I'm going to replace these ones because they've all been cut down the middle and they're not great. So this board is still waiting to go down. All those other ones have been set. There was a minor flush leak with the toilet, but that's sorted now. I might just get a new adapter. It's just a side toilet. Other than that, these two glue and screwed. This one's glued and screwed. This one's glued and screwed, and there's a couple of planks here underneath which aren't glued and screwed yet, just in case I need access. Check the levels, obviously. This is my new floor, so it's going to be quite good. Perfect. I mean, all the new's probably going to be spot on, just because. Yeah, it's brand new. Got no excuses on the new stuff. If you got this far in the video, thank you very much for watching me build this floor. See you later.
Take me back.